What are your life goals? Whew, that's okay. That's an interesting one. Life goals. There's so many things I want to do. One of my life goal, the ultimate, is to.
Let's Angel. And your boy got beat.
Hi guys, welcome to the Flavored Life channel. I'm so excited to be back with episode 2. So obviously, if you've not listened to episode 1, my introduction video, please just literally just go back, rewind, just go back and listen to that, because that was where we introduced the Flavored Life officially. It was epic, it was amazing, it was nice. And so today, hello. Today is more lighthearted. It's literally an about me video, and I mean, a lot of people have been wondering, oh my God, who is this girl on here? What's she coming to do? What's she, what is she trying to sell that we don't already know or have? And so there's been a lot of questions about who I am. And I'm like, the world defines you based on who you define yourself to be. And so they take the cue from actually how you define yourself. And so I'm really excited about this one. If you see me looking down, just know that because the questions are literally on this other phone, and so I'll have to look down to process the different questions. Um, to start with, what's my full name? So my full name, my first name is Favor, as you all know. One of my middle names, because I have so many names. I'm the last one of my family, so I have so many names. So one of my cultural name, traditional name, my Yoruba name is Oluwatobi Laba, and my surname is Ilori. So in terms of my name, so an interesting fact about me, I think I'll link it to my name. One interesting fact about my name is that I gave myself my name at the age of 5. Yes, you heard me right. I gave myself Favor at the age of 5. I literally sometimes can't wonder or think, how did my parents let me choose my name for myself at the age of 5? So I had a name prior to Favor as my first name. And what happened was I realized that when I got to, I think, primary 1 or primary 2, I had 2 birth certificates because they had to now reflect the name. Apparently, they said I told them that I wanted to change my name at that age, and they obliged. They believed that my father did have a story to tell. He talked about the fact that, um, based on the fact that when he became a Christian and all of that, he gave himself a name. So he said, you know, a lion does not give birth to a goat, So if I change my name and no one stopped me, why should I stop my 5-year-old daughter because she's a child? And so, voila, Favor. And obviously now you have the flavored life from Favor, so that's quite interesting. So in terms of the next question is what I studied. Ooh, this one. I mean, it's quite easy. I studied law. I'm still studying. I've been studying for the past, I think, 10 years or more. I think my whole life, actually. I'm studying for my whole life. So, in terms of study, I did an undergrad in law, and that was really nice. I don't think I think I've always wanted to be a lawyer. Yeah, I believe I've always wanted to be a lawyer. But as time goes on, I remember having other dreams alongside law. So it wasn't just about law. Then I went into wanting to obviously further that because I love knowledge, I love curiosity. So I ended up going into masters in law, majoring in energy and environmental law. And then I thought to myself, you have to upgrade in the knowledge era. Like, how do you stand out? And I love imparting knowledge. I love equipping people. So I was like, let's just take it a notch higher. Actually, I don't think I'm done. I told myself to do that. I feel like my father sent me on an assignment as always. And he said he would have me come into the fullness of academia. And so your girl carried herself, nobody sent her except God Himself. So she carried herself and she took it a top notch higher. And she's currently doing her PhD in law, in climate change law to be precise. It's been amazing, it's been great. I'm sure we'll talk about more of that in the coming videos. So the next question, what do I do? So in terms of what I do a lot of things. So I don't know how to break down this question. I do, what do I do? To start with, I do visiting lecturing, so I part-time lecture, I lecture in law. On one side of things. On the other side, I also work as an education instructor Actually, it started from specialist communication, where I'm able to create new possible ways for you to teach your children in terms of in the education space. And so that became like a communication executive. And from then on, I transited into educational instruction, where I come as an instructor, get people into activity, go through trainings of different types of things to get people to learn in different ways. In terms of also what I do on the ministry side of things, I love to impact people. I co-run a ministry with a beloved sister of mine. It's called Women of His Presence, WHP. One of the taglines of WHP is, God said, how can you be a woman and not carry my presence? And so I do that as well. Um, there are different versions of different things I do as well. But I'll stop here in terms of like the basics of what I do for now. Um, in terms of the next question, let me see. Next question. So it says, what am I passionate about? You. I'm actually passionate about you. I'm passionate about equipping. I'm passionate about communicating. I'm passionate about, journeying through, seeing people come into design. I like when I met someone, they're at this level of growth, and by the time we interact and journey through life together, they're at this or that they've 10x where they are. I love people coming to their own. I'm passionate about young females getting into the fullness of their design. I'm passionate about young men and women and youth having their voices heard, and not just saying fluff, but having substance and authority, which is built by consistency. So I'm passionate about people coming to the fullness. I'm passionate about discipling people, equipping people, them coming to knowledge. I love what knowledge does for people. I mean, take it from a girl that when I entered the first day of my master's class in environmental law, prior to that, I wanted to do energy. I wanted to focus energy. Energy was all I wanted to breathe, eat, and sleep. I come into this classroom and the teacher goes, "Hi everyone, who is in love with the environment? Who loves the environment?" She was literally asking questions. All hands went up. Mine was down. And then she looked around. She was like, what's happening? Like, we just have one student that the hand is down. And she was like, she came up to me. She was like, oh, what's your name? I was like, oh, my name is Favour. She was like, oh, she realized that she asked a question that who loves the environment, and everybody's hand went up, or care about the environment or some sort, and people's hand went up. Mine hand was down. Why? I was like, well, to be honest, I'm in this class because it's compulsory because of the niche I chose. However, I'm not necessarily interested anything environment. I'm just being honest. Like, but however, I'm open. So I'm open to the knowledge. I'm open to what she has to say. I'm open to learning, but I'm not necessarily gonna fake it that I'm an environmentalist or an advocate of some sort. And she was like, okay, she's glad I'm open, and that's all there is really. Like, being open is the first step to anything in knowledge learning, acquisition, and all of that. And so we took it from there. Shortly after that, I think like 4 weeks later, she asked the question in class, and I stood up and I spoke for the next 5 minutes, and the whole class was quiet. They're like, what? Favor, you've embodied environmental law. You've embodied it so much so that there's such a passion you become about the environment. And I was like, oh my God, 4 weeks ago, I did not know anything about the environment. 4 weeks ago, I didn't care about the environment. And 4 weeks on here, I'm literally breathing passion of environment, talking about, the big guys and how they need to do better with ECSR, which is environmental corporate social responsibility. And look at me talking terminologies. And I was like, wow. And that's what knowledge does to people. It brings you to a place where you want more for yourself. It brings you to a place of actually understanding your design, understanding what that thing is all about, coming into awareness. And it blows my mind how people transition. So one of the reasons why I love teaching is how when people come to my class for the first time, we're talking basics of law, foundation, and all of that. And then by the end of the class, they're literally having assessment and coursework and research. Like, for example, now the current dissertation guys, I remember how when they started at the beginning, they literally didn't have a clue about the topic. And at the end of the dissertation submission, they're literally becoming mini authorities of that field. And that's what knowledge does. It causes you ooze a level of confidence and certainty and authority that it's only found from that place of hunger. where as you, and even with things of God as well, as you're hungry, you come into a level of light and enlightenment. You're hungry again, you come back again, you feed from it, you journey through it, and you become one with it. And so I had incubated environmental law so much so that I became so one with it that I transited to another level of academia because of the love that I found with environmental law. So next question. Next question. I feel like I need to answer much more. My idea of fun. I don't know. My idea of fun. I love movies. Korean movies. I love Indian movies. I love Taiwanese movies. I love Hollywood, Bollywood, Nollywood. I love all the hoods. I love diversity. I love French movies as well. So for me, I remember that's probably the first movie that I watched in French, and it was amazing. And since then, I've been hooked. I love movies generally, so I would not really. I love Hallmark movies as well. So I'm a movie person. So I love my idea of fun will be movies, will be chilling, will be conversing. I love fellowshipping with my sisters, my brothers. Um, Family time is important to me, friendships are important to me, community life are important to me. So that would be my idea of fun. My idea of fun would be things that, oh, I love singing as well. I love singing. Apparently I do love singing. Yes, I love singing. Singing is also fun for me. Worshiping God is fun. I love me time where I'm just journaling. I love journaling a lot. I believe that as a Christian, what are you doing if you're not journaling? Like, what are you doing if you're not journaling? I always say, God will not speak to you if you don't write. You can quote me, you can also quote my mentor, Lady Kems. But actually, I believe that, you want to go into prayer room and you're praying and you expect God to speak to you, but you're not carrying any writing material. How do you expect to capture the spiritual things when we know spiritual things are slippery? So a way to show God that, oh, okay, Lord, I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to hear. I know you're going to speak to me. How are you going to say, I know you're going to speak to me? I know you're going to speak to me is literally carrying your pen and your paper or your iPad or your notepad and saying, I am, how it says, I'm standing at my watch, listening for what he's going to say to me. So I'm literally standing at my watch with my pen and my paper and trying to write and saying, I'm here for the word of the Lord, and because I know he's going to speak to me. And that there's an intentionality that causes the spilling of God's word to come forth when he sees a readiness and preparedness of heart. There's a way you show up when you're hungry. There's a way you show up when you're prepared. When you're hungry, anything can flow. That is, he will speak in different ways. And when you are prepared, he's saying, I literally want to hear you speak on these and these and these. Like, you are coming with, there's an attitude, there's an intentionality. It's a game changer, guys. So if you're not journaling before, I want to put it to you that you can add that to one of the fun things you do, whether in the morning or in the night or in the noon or during your break times, whatever really works for you. Journaling is a good way to, step in a notch. I feel like we've only just done few questions and it already feels like minutes have gone. So let me just try and speed things up a bit. Obviously, we also sent some Q&A questions on IG, and so some people send a lot of questions as well. So we might not be able to go through all of it, but we'll go through some. Is black still your favorite color? Yes, it is. I still love black. Yay! I'm full repping black. Oh yes. So I love black. I still love black. I'm still in love with black. Yeah, I love it. That's it. I still now love, okay, although now I feel like this year, because I've done a lot of colors and spiced things up, I'm now more into colors than I used to be. However, I still love my black. My favorite verse in the Bible. Wow. What's my favorite verse in the Bible? Jeremiah 33, verse 3. Call unto me, and I'll answer you and show you great and mighty things which you know it not. That has been my favorite verse since as long as I remember, and it's still one of my favorite verses because there's always something new to come into God. There's always a new dimension. I'll show you things which you never know. I show you things which you know it not. It's that thing where I come into a dimension of God today. I come into a greater dimension tomorrow. It's an ending from glory to glory, from grace to grace. Next question. Okay, I think I'll just do like 4 more, 5 more or so because of time. Because I really wanted to make this short. I didn't know that answering questions will be a long while. So in terms of next question, sorry, 1 minute. Indoors or outdoors? Indoors or outdoors? Indoors or outdoors? Indoors. I had to think about it because I know a bubbly person. So outdoors is, I mean, I function in anyone, to be honest. However, I love my indoors. I like my space. Yeah, that's how I refuel because I have a lot of energy to give the world, my friends, my community. So for me, the way I get to reset is to, you know. Um, Next question. Ooh, this is quite interesting. What's your favorite book, or what book would you like to recommend that changed your life? Whew, there's a lot of many books, but the ones that changed my life, I'll say Deep Work by Karl Marx. When I read it, it did something to me. I was able to understand distraction free zone. One of our major mentors, DDK, she always talks about it, but it never really made sense. I read that book and it was like you can have a distraction free life. Like autopilot, there's a laser focus that causes you to produce a level of depth that only comes from laser focus on a thing. So is that thing where if I want to write a book, there's a well of depths of knowledge that can only be tapped into and harnessed from a level of high heightened focus. And it's a distraction proof zone. It cannot work with distraction, So Karl Marx Deep Work would change my life. Woman Your Fire by Lady Kemi Fredadetiba. Um, that's also another great book. I Saw the Lord. I loved I Saw the Lord. If you're going through pain and you're going through a season where you're asking God questions, that's a good book to read. Um, in terms of books, nothing is really coming to my mind, and I have so many books that I would really like to recommend. I Am Married by Debola Deirdre Kurumi. You could read that if it's a season where you feel like the Lord will have you be married, or even if you're married and you feel like there's a whole blueprint about your marriage and you want to figure that out. That's a good book to read. Book, Fervent, Priscilla Shira. That's another book as well to read. There's a Kenneth Hagin book we're reading currently, and I'm enjoying every moment of it. It's our month of faith in WHP, and it's been an amazing book. I think ever increasing faith, and it's amazing. Like Kenneth Hagin, he did. No, I think it's Wigglesworth. I'm not sure. If it's not, we'll cut this part out. But yes, when was the last time you cried? Ooh, when was the last time I cried? On my birthday. Yes. No, I don't think I cried, but there was a tear. I don't know if that would count. Cried. Cry me a river. I don't really cry like that. But when was the last time I cried? When was the last time I cried? Something happened that I cried. I can't remember. I can't remember. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to say. Well, I would say my birthday because I think I shed one tear. What's your favorite song of all time? I don't know. That would be really hard because my songs change per season. So yeah, but I like different sounds. So I would just let's leave that question for now. Um, do you have any children? No, I don't have any children. Um, what is your ooh? Which of your parents do you resemble? I look like my mom, just the fairer version. I absolutely look like my mom. At some point, I think I was opening her phone in my face. Okay, I'll answer just one more or two more. What is your favorite sport? My favorite sport is badminton. When last did I do it? I don't remember, but it's still my favorite sport. I love badminton. Um, yeah, I think I'll just stop here because there's still like over. Yes, there's over. We still have a lot of questions to go through. Maybe I'll do a part two or something. Um, maybe I'll answer one more and I'll close. What are your life goals? Whew, that's okay. That's an interesting one. Life goals. There's so many things I want to do. One of my life goal, the ultimate, is to be like Christ. That's it. Like that's really it. I one time asked my pastor a question, and I feel like this relates. So maybe you understand where I'm coming from. I think it was lockdown, and I remember calling my pastor and I asked him a question. I said, "Why do we have to study? Like, why are we in school? Why are we doing all of this? If God is going to come anytime from now, why can't we just pack up and just focus on Christianity? Let's just focus on church, focus on God, focus on our relationship and intimacy. Like, man, in that season, I was cocooned with God. And I remember having even as much like I'll go with chapters of the Bible and be reading, and the hours in the day was not enough to actually even finish chapters. Like at that point, I remember then I was mesmerized by pastors, and I was like, wow, they're doing such a great work. To labor in the word is not actually an easy feat. So I asked him, I was like, so why are we doing all of this striving, going to work? Why can't we just, focus on God, build our own Goshen, focus on God, journey through? And he said, if you did that, there'll be a lot of lives that will never be saved, because there are people that needs to be reached in the academia world. There's people that needs to be reached in the medical field, people that need to be reached in law, in this. So the only way that he can reach them is through you, because you are God's passport, you're God's ID card. So you are the one that gives him access through those portals. And I remember God told me, he said, in your field of influence, I need battle access that will go there and journey through and pour out my life. And so when I came into academia, it was an assignment. It wasn't just something that, oh, it felt nice, it looks good, it's nice to, you know, to any ambadi doctor. Not necessarily. It was more about the assignment that God needs someone to go as a delegate and be able to pour Zoe out. Go as an ambassador and represent the fullness. And the only way they see Christ is you and I. And so that's one of the reasons why I came to understand that as much as I want to stay in intimacy with God in my room and just journey through, if I don't pour out that life and let that life flow through me freely, some will never come to the Christ that we now come to know as our Lord and Savior. And because of the fact that someone labored me into this fullness of life, I, I owe it to my Father to do his business, because it's our business, it's our kingdom. And so because of that, one of my life goals is to be like Christ. It's Christ likeness. It's coming to the fullness of the faith. It's Zoe. Other life goals, anything that pertains to life and godliness. So it's living the life of Christ. It's living my faith walk, my love walk, being a better person, being a better spouse, being a better friend, a better sister. It's journeying through that life. It's becoming the fullness and dying empty. That's it. I don't want to die with an assignment on the line. I want to die empty. That is everything that I'm able to pour in the fullness of design. I want to pour it. There should be no books left in me. There should be no sounds left in me. There should be no words of wisdom and knowledge and understanding left in me. There should be no theories left in me. Everything should have poured out. And that's where I'll end today's video. I really loved this session. I know we didn't get to explore all the questions, but then we can have another one. I mean, let's really journey the channel together. Like I said, it's flavor for a reason. It's all the flavors. And so expect vanilla next week and strawberry the week after. But yes, this has been absolutely lovely. And do not forget to like, to share, to subscribe, and also click on the notification button so you get the notification whenever I post a video. We try to make it be consistent. So yes, let's journey together and have a lovely day, guys. Bye.